Okay, we are live. We are live. Official time check. We're coming up on 6 minutes before the official time start of the program. The program starts at 5 o'clock Eastern time. This is an emergency broadcast. We're going to talk about bearer instruments, items and things that you can have on your person that are of value. Back in the day, there used to be something called bearer bonds that people could buy that would have a certain redemption value and that would generate a return, and that whoever had them in their possession, whoever was the bearer of that item, owned that bond. And so it didn't have to be registered or anything like that. So if people wanted something that was as portable as cash, but could be extremely valuable, they would have, you know, some bearer bonds, and they could literally have those in their attaché case or whatever and travel around or whatever. And those things were fairly liquid. Uh, Not anymore. That's kind of been phased out. The government doesn't like the idea of something like that people can have that has value that is totally portable. I think that drug dealers and other nefarious folks might use them for various purposes. So they've kind of phased out the whole concept of bearer bonds. So now people that want something of value that is portable, that can be taken from one country to another, for example, some people are actually using Rolex watches and other expensive watches and other expensive personal items, but mainly something like a Rolex because it is relatively liquid. And in other words, if you travel to another country, there's usually a market for a Rolex watch. Now, you might have to go to a couple places. You might have to take a little bit of a haircut on selling it, because obviously whoever you sell it to is going to want to make a profit reselling it or whatever, right? But in some cases, some people, that's a way that they move money around. They have a desirable Rolex model and they travel to Timbuktu and they sell it for cash or whatever. And it's just like they transported that cash from one country to another. So it's a thing. It's a thing. And of course, now we have this bizarre thing called Bitcoin that is portable, that can be moved across borders very easily, and that is, I would call it the new bearer bond. It's a new bearer bond. What do you guys think about that? It is a Swiss bank account in your pocket or in your head. If you've memorized your secret words, it could even be in your head. You could literally flee a country buck naked, go across the border, be strip searched, all your clothes taken and burned, and so on and so forth. And you have your secret words in your head. And now all of a sudden, you've got $50 million worth of Bitcoin that you can access when the time comes when you need it. So that is an ultimate bearer bond, if you will. And if you have something that is a bearer instrument, one of the things that is extremely key is it has to be liquid. It has to be something that you can sell fairly easily almost anywhere. And Bitcoin has finally gotten to the point where its market cap is high enough and there's enough exchanges and there's enough ways to sell it. There's something called local Bitcoins that's in most countries where you can actually meet up with somebody physically in person and sell it. Of course, you want to take necessary security precautions if you're going to do that. But it's liquid. It's every bit as liquid as a Rolex watch, if not more so. I mean, it's going to kind of be kind of difficult to transport, let's say, $5 million worth of Rolex watches, right? and transport them without the border authorities knowing about it. Whereas you could easily do that with Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the concept of property, personal property, the concept of somebody owning something and it actually being their property. Let's talk about that in this show. And I have some interesting things that it might be food for thought for some of you, especially some of you all that are no coiners. Stig said, good evening. And Durr was in the house early. He said, we are live. Carlos is hanging out. He says hello. And Craig just upgraded to a Yeti from the American flag glass. I just ordered a Yeti, a water mug today. I broke my second, I don't know what it is with the American flag glasses, but I broke the second one that I have, and that's the last one. And I broke it today. I was getting ready for the show. Took it in. I sat it down next to the sink, and there was a cloth there, and there was something under the cloth that I didn't notice or whatever. I went to set it down, and the thing fell over and fell into the sink, into the hard sink, and shattered. Right. I was getting ready to fill it up with H2O. So I can't shatter this. And by the way, excuse me, I have literally found two of these while out walking. I found this one first, and it's literally in mint condition. And then I found another one. So I've got two of these Yetis, the same size. They have a real nice lid on them. And I have two of them in stock. Neither of which did I buy. I found them laying on the side of the trail, the hiking trail. I guess some people get too overloaded with their gear, and then they discard their Yeti when they can no longer hike, right? They start discarding things along the pathway for me to later pick up. Yeti's great. I have a Yeti glass and Yeti cooler. Okay, Durr's in the house. Colors. Yeah, I need a good mug. I could keep at work with me where my drinks stay cold all night. I hear that ice will last for 12 hours in a drink. Yes, they stay cold for a long time. They do work. But I have to tell you, drinking cold drinks is not a healthy thing. You're better off drinking drinks at room temperature. Just saying. Kyle's in the house. He says, hey, guys. American flag glasses are breaking because Joe broke America. That could be it. I use it during the day, but I would bet it keeps ice the whole night. Yes. And I got the 64-ounce Yeti mug, not cheap. I hear they're worth it. I wonder how many ounces mine is. Does anybody know how many ounces this is? I just don't know. Again, I found the thing. So both of mine are that exact same size, though. Now, stunner alert, close up of the stunner. How stunning is that piece after like 4 years of heavy use? 4 years of heavy use, folks. Okay, Yeti coolers are great. They're like 10 times the price of the cheap ones, but worth every penny. Okay. All right, so here's the deal. Yeah, I only pick up the best on the side of the road, side of the hiking trail. We only pick up the best. All right. So here's the situation. Like it or not, governments are getting bigger, stronger, more invasive all the time. And there's two things we try to do in life, two important things. We try to earn a good living, and then after we've earned a good living and we've accumulated some wealth, we want to retain that wealth. And trust me when I say there are adversaries that want to take that wealth away, whether it be government, whether it be ex-business partners, whether it be ex-wives, whether it be whatever. Somebody suing you because they tripped on your lawn. There are adversaries that are always after any money that you might have accumulated. Insurance companies, you name it, they're all after it. So sometimes it gives a little bit of peace of mind to have your own personal Swiss bank account, to have some money set aside somewhere where absolutely nobody can get to it except you. So that's where a bearer bond comes in. That's where the Rolex watch comes in that's stashed somewhere, right? That's where some of these items that are of value that can be liquidated easily come into play, maybe some gold coins, right? Uh, so, and I have to say, and I'm not going to name names, but a no coiner, a longtime no coiner who was into anti Bitcoin, has now officially become a owner of Bitcoin. One of the subscribers on the channel, not going to say the name because I'm not authorized to do so, but a member of the Wrench Gang is now no longer a no coiner. And so this thing is getting a life of its own, this whole Bitcoin thing. It's starting to take off. I'm starting to hear from other people that are now interested. I wish they'd have contacted me when it was $4,000. But anyway, they're starting to get interested. And we're starting to get into where it looks like the value might pump. It's about 48,300 right now as we speak. A couple of red candles there, but we might, if we break through 50,000, we've been rejected the last couple days at 50. We haven't been able to break through 50,000, but if we break through 50,000, this thing could go. And every time we have a big bull market, I get people coming out of the woodwork. Hey, can you tell me more about that Bitcoin thing? Why don't they contact me during the bear market? Why don't they contact me when we're down like 60%? But anyway, that said, there's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. I had a friend on Facebook that, not really a friend, an acquaintance. He was a neighbor of mine down in Bethesda, and he actually was the one that got me into buying internet domain names back in 1994. And forward-looking guy, smart guy. I'll say his name, Mike Mann. He deals in a lot of domain names. Mike Mann, M-A-N-N. Google him. He's a domain name guru. Anyway, he's totally anti-Bitcoin, and he quote called the top back in 2017 when it was right around 20,000, just a little bit below 20,000, I think was the peak in December of 2017. And he quote called the top. He gloated about that for 2 years because the Bitcoin had a big pullback and then went sideways, and for 2 years it was down, right? And I told you guys I called the top. And the whole time he was saying, I told you guys you called the top, I said, hey, Mike, relax, give it time. Give it time. Bitcoin will be fine. I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I'm keeping my Bitcoin. Oh, you should have sold when it was 19,000. You were stupid. You should have sold, blah, 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 right? So then it went over 20,000. And I reminded him of his advice that, hey, you should have all sold. I said, what are you telling people now? Oh, well, it's still a scam. It's going to go to zero, blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? And then it doubled. It got to like 40,000. And I reminded him and so on. He finally unfriended me on Facebook and blocked me. And he's still, I can't see his posts now, but I guarantee you he's still doing the same silly stuff about Bitcoin. So that's how that whole thing works. Let's see. Okay, I read that. It looks like you have the 20-ounce mug, Craig. Okay, cool. It's okay. You can say it. It's me. I'm no longer no corn. Okay, so Durr let the cat out of the bag. He signed up with the Strike app, which is a fantastic way to buy Bitcoin. It has limits on how much you can buy, but there are no fees. It's a slight spread when you buy Bitcoin on anywhere, but there's no fees for buying it. And you can also transfer it to another wallet out of Strike. And there's pretty much no fee to do that. It's really an amazing app, Strike. All of you guys should sign up. I think I have the link in the description on this video. I know I have a link on my Bitcoin page. On this page on my website, which you go to my page and you click on the menu, pull it down and scroll down to Bitcoin and click on that. And I've got a whole section here, and I've got the links for where you can buy Bitcoin, and I've even got links to a BlockFi account where you can get interest on your Bitcoin. So Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. And Boozer says, I got in at 38K. Woo, okay, there you go. And Kyle says, good move. And Carla says, not sure if I would go the same twisty paths that Durr usually takes. And here's the thing, you've got to have a strong hand. You've got to have a strong hand if you buy Bitcoin, because it can be a roller coaster ride. It can be a jerky up and down roller coaster ride. And the weak hands, they sell to the strong hands. Bitcoin naturally flows from the weak hands to the strong hands. And you got to ask yourself, if you're selling your Bitcoin, who's buying it? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Who are you selling your Bitcoin to? Because, you know, Bitcoin is a limited thing. It's very limited. So who's scarfing it up if you're selling it? Craig, are domain names still relative? They're not very liquid. Right now, Brianna is trying to sell some of my surplus domain names, and it's not that easy. And some of them are pretty good names. They're not that liquid. They're not anywhere near as liquid as Bitcoin, but they can be sold. They are sellable. And I have sold some over the years, and I've done really well as far as the amount I've made on them. But some of them, you have to hold them for years before you find somebody that wants them. I've got a page on my website on CraigShipp.com/domains. So check that out. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll see if I can show you. Yeah. Let me share screen here. I'm going to do this a different way. Share screen, share Chrome tab, internet domain names for sale. Here we go. Here we go. So these are the domains that I have for sale. And you go to just CraigShipp.com/domains. Here they are. And I'll tell you what, if any of you guys are entrepreneurs and you think you can sell one of these domains, okay, I'll give you the same offer that I'm giving Bree, 50% commission, special August sale, $1,988 each for any of these domains, and you'll get half. And we'll get these domains sold and get some cash in so I can buy some more Bitcoin, because that's what I want to do with the money. I want to buy some more Bitcoin. That's the deal. That's how we're going to do all that. Okay. So, all right. All right, I got to catch up here. I wonder who will be next, Carlos, Rich, or Lance? Mike missed good advice from Craig. Good job, Durr. Hold that Bitcoin with all your might. Pre-fit dance in the house. Thanks, Bree. I sure will. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. If anybody can come in, I'm going to put an invite link. Let me do that right now before I forget. Here's the link to join. Okay. And that is posting. Yeah, I think it posted. Okay, so I have more BTC than Durr. I am BC owner for more than 10 years. With hindsight, of course, I prefer to have more. There you go. I wish I had purchased my name, KyleJet.com. A former employee of mine that I fired bought it and is holding it hostage. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. I think he needs to be visited by Bubba and Guido. That's what needs to happen on him. Okay, Carlos, I thought you might still have some. And Kyle, I know someone that can help about that. I'll look into an accident. Yeah, like if one of his kneecaps just all of a sudden shattered, then maybe he'll change his mind before the second kneecap gets shattered. So there's that. Kyle, just change your name to add a third T to your last name and then buy that domain. There you go. That'd be great, Carlos. If not, Durr might have the answer. At least he's not using it as a troll site to bash you. Yeah, that's next. Are the domain prices a reference to the year 1998? Well, the price is 1988. So no, It's just a price. It's just a price I came up with for sale price. This is a special sale price. These domains are actually worth more than that. They really are. It's a good deal for somebody who needs them. He did, but that was removed, thankfully. I can't even say here what was on it that bad. Whoa. Um, Colin's in the house, and he says, "Hi, everybody." And I recommended Colin Scott for Wrench Gang. Who's with me? Okay, so it has to be at least three of you guys need to go along with that, and then we'll see if we can make that happen. So take a look at that. Okay, so can I join? Yes. Yes, Bree, come on in. Come on in. I put the link in the chat. Let me see. Put it in there again. Okay. So Carlos, I trust Boozer. If he recommends him, he should be trustable. You can see my comment. Yes. Yes, Colin, I can see your comment. No idea who Colin is, says Durr. So Durr's not stepping up. Carlos is really the ultimate say on this because he's our you know he's our security chief. So I think if he says it's okay, then maybe it should be. Craig, has the OnlyFans ban on nudity affected Bree? No, she never did any nude stuff. She did some nice stuff for her fans, but nothing nude. I don't recommend that she do that sort of thing, and she doesn't want to do it. So she's a smart girl. She's nobody's dummy. Let's see, Derek, Craig, please go for a long show today. Well, I started early, so there's that. We got that going for us already. All right, so so here's a couple of thoughts on Bitcoin, and just to give you the background on this, when I first heard about Bitcoin, I think it was around 2011, very early, I immediately dismissed it and said, the government is not going to put up with this. I got it. I understood what it's about and what it's trying to do. Basically, be cash for the internet, right? Uncensorable payments from one person to the other can't be censored, right? With no intermediary. I got it. I got the whole concept immediately. Some people say it's extremely hard to get the concept of Bitcoin. I mean, I got the concept immediately, and I liked the concept. But my immediate reaction was the government is not going to put up with this. They're going to shut this thing down. This is ridiculous. There's no way the government is going to let a system like this compete with them. Now, a year or so went by and the government hadn't done anything, and it kept growing and growing. And I finally said, well, what the hell? I'm going to buy some because, it's still around. And then as each year progressed and it continued to be around, I continued to increase my holdings. And once I got to the point where I wasn't trading anymore, I was just buying and holding, I set a goal for how many I wanted to get. And then once I reached that limit, I haven't really been buying that many since then. Maybe I've bought like 4 or 5 Bitcoin since then, but just kind of playing around. But once I got to the threshold that I wanted, I kind of, called it game over, that I had what I needed. And now every year that it survives, and every time another billionaire buys some more, I think the chances of the government shutting it down get weaker and weaker. The odds of that happening get lower and lower. It's just not going to happen. I think we're at 95% that the government is not going to shut it down at this point, and that's the biggest attack vector for Bitcoin, is the government cracking down on it. Now, they'll try to regulate exchanges, and there's things they'll do, but shutting down the system, I think that ship has sailed. So we'll see what what happens. Let's see. Carlos says, Craig, do not put that load on my shoulders. Count my vote as a regular one. Okay. We're doing it. Craig, check out Namebase. You can own your own top level domain. Well, a lot of those things are squirrely. I only buy .com domains. I don't buy any of the squirrely. Like, it's just like buying altcoins, right? I buy Bitcoin. I don't buy, um, yeah, I don't buy altcoins, so I don't buy anything but .com domain names. Beachfront real estate for me. I've been commenting on Craig's videos for over a year at least. Okay. Craig, Bitcoin is original crypto over a decade old. How has no one come along and created a better version of it? That is a very, very good question. And one of the big problems with all of the altcoins is something called centralization. And Bitcoin, because the originator of it disappeared and we don't even know who he is, there's really nobody that the government can go after and lean on. Whereas with Ethereum, it's got some key people, Vitalik and some other key people that the government could lean on and have leaned on and can influence, right? And so on. And so Bitcoin was almost like an immaculate conception. It just came along at just the right time when, if somebody created something now, everybody would know who created it. You wouldn't be able to be anonymous, right? It just wouldn't work. Whereas he was able to stay anonymous. He worked on it for about a year or so, disappeared into the ether, and nobody even knows who he is. Then it flew under the radar long enough that it got decentralized enough, and the proof of work mining and all that got decentralized enough, and there were enough nodes all around the world that it became extremely robust and hard to attack, if you will, a hardened surface. And none of the altcoins have been able to achieve that kind of network effect. They just haven't. And so you have to have a strong network effect in order to be liquid, right? You need to have a good number of exchanges for it to be bought and sold, again, so it's liquid. You need to have something that is not able to be censored, not able to be attacked by the government, which Bitcoin is that more so every day. So it's got a lot of qualities that none of the altcoins have been able to duplicate, and that's why they've all failed. So it's sort of like nobody's been able to duplicate Facebook either, right? For a lot of reasons. So nobody has successfully been able to create a better mousetrap in this case. And now it's really reaching critical mass to where I think it's pretty much impossible for anybody else to duplicate Bitcoin or to improve upon it. Kyle, you can buy Kyle Jet on Namebase and your own top level domain. Yeah, it's not a .com, so it's pretty much not worth having. 21 Bitcoin was my threshold, but I keep stacking. Yeah, you have to have 21. 21 is the number that Adam Meister recommended years ago, and I use that as a guideline. You have to have at least 21. And then it's good to have some extras here and there set aside in different places, right? Have 21 in deep cold storage, and then have some others here and there is I think a good plan. Some on BlockFi, getting some interest, getting some income, stuff like that. Johnny, is that possible? Somebody already owns it. Okay. I think he's talking about a non.com. It's not a .com domain name, Kyle. Gov can't shut it down. They can only choke the flow of fiat in and out. Yeah, they can try. But so far, the U.S. government is not signaling that they're going to do that. They're just going to regulate it and know who's going in and out. And I think now that enough billionaires are buying it and they have a lot of influence with the government, that I don't think we're going to see that happen anytime soon. I think that ship has sailed. Let's get Brianna in here.
I can't even hear anything.
Okay, let me get Brianna on a side-by-side here. Can you
can't
hear
even
me?
hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay, so you've got to turn on your speaker so that you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So you need to turn on the speaker on your computer
Oh,
so that
there?
you can hear me. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Testing. Okay, well, we'll let her play with that. And meanwhile, we'll put Lance up on there. He says, hello, Craig and all. Derek's in the house. He says, Craig, I have
Can't hear
Bitcoin since
me.
my daughter bought it from me years years back. I can't get them though because
I'm
I don't
using
know how.
this.
Yeah, that's a problem. A lot of people lose access to their Bitcoin, and then they're kind of in
Can't even
trouble.
hear him.
So will anyone else set up
Speaker.
for Colin's wrench? Bree, call me on the phone. I'm asking her to call me on the phone.
Oh, me?
Yes. And then I can walk her through how to get her audio working. The old guy has to help the youngster out.
Oh, to listen to you through my phone. Okay, that's
Well,
better.
no, that's
Oh,
not
I
what
can
we're
actually
going to
use
do.
my earbuds.
No, that wasn't what we're going to do. I'm going to tell her how to do it, how to fix it. I'm not going to, because there'll be a delay. We can't do the phone. But anyway, hopefully she'll call. Now she's frozen up. Okay. So I can give Colin
Oh
a
shoot! I'm
second. Okay,
connecting it.
Derek. Okay.
Figure this
I
out.
read a story of some guy who paid $100,000 for a firm to unlock his lost Bitcoin. He forgot the key. Well, if they were able to figure out his private key, yes, they can get in, but that's extremely difficult to do depending on, now he may have put it somewhere on his computer or something and they found it. But if it's truly lost, if he's got even 12 or 24 words, secret words, that's almost impossible to hack back into that. I used my MySpace a lot more than Facebook until everyone left. There you go. Anyway, check out Namebase and make up your own mind. Okay. Thank you guys. I was supposed to get a wrench months ago, but Bree gave it to someone named Corey Wilson Jr. Okay. And let's see, that's 3 nominations for Colin. Okay, I'll try to work on it. It's best to get your colon checked before age 50. I hear. Bree, call me on the phone. Call me. Why is she not calling me? Oh, God. All right. I'm going to try to call her. This is a train wreck. This is an absolute train wreck. So what we have here is a failure to communicate. That's what we have here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Go into your settings on your computer. You're on your laptop, right?
Yes.
Go into your settings and make sure that your audio out is on the built-in speakers on the,
It is.
okay. And now go into the settings on StreamYard, your audio settings, and make sure that under camera/mic, and make sure that's selected as your output.
Oh, you said to go to my
In
preferences.
StreamYard, go to your camera mic settings. See that?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you select the audio out. Make sure you got the correct thing selected, and make sure your audio in is selected properly. Got it?
Oh, did I go off? Am I still
Well, you're
streaming?
frozen. You're frozen. You're frozen on the screen. So yeah, I just lost you. Okay, well, if you can figure it out, we'll come back in. But that's what you got to do. You got to get your settings right. Audio in and audio out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The speakers are built in.
Yeah. So, and then make sure you select it on the make sure you select it on the StreamYard also. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me through the StreamYard? That's the question. Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me?
No, you're frozen.
Okay. Well, I think you're also having some internet issues.
I'm having lots of issues.
We'll have to wait until you come here.
It's much better over there because here it's just a mess.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry about that.
Hang out in the chat. Bye.
All right.
All right. We had Bree. We had Bree for a moment there.
I can still. I'm here. Like.
Yeah, and we can hear you. We can hear Bree.
It's just for some reason the preferences,
Yeah, so she can't hear me. Okay,
literally the
so
speaker
it's
section.
best. Okay, so here we go.
If I just take
Um,
this out.
Bree, should OnlyFans accept Bitcoin? They're changing policies due to
Oh, okay.
pressures from credit
Wait, I
card
can hear you
companies.
now.
Okay, good. That is exactly what they should do. Is they should go Bitcoin only. OnlyFans should go Bitcoin only and say the heck with it for the credit card companies. And they don't have to pay fees then too. They save money. Everybody should switch to just taking Bitcoin and forget about the credit card companies. Let's disintermediate them. They
Yeah.
don't need their 3%. They take 3% off the top. So we can go round robin on them. Okay, Carlos says we need to give immunity to colon just in case someone infiltrates and start blocking non-immunized participants like someone did some years ago. I hear you. Okay, let me go and try to find him. I got to go to YouTube. I got to go to the show here so I can give him a wrench because I can't give him a wrench here in StreamYard. So give me a second here. And let me see if I can find him and give him a wrench.
His wrench got taken out.
Colon. All right, where's Colin? Here he is. Okay, I'm going to give him a wrench. Let's see here. Add moderator. Okay, if you refresh Colin Scott's, you should now have a wrench. Okay, you should now have a wrench officially. Go ahead and refresh and let me know if that worked. Is Bree using Ethernet connection? Probably not. She's probably using Wi-Fi. Triforce Rich says, hey, Carlos. Corey Wilson James, Chip, I need my wrench back. How long have I been a major contributor to this station? Yeah, but he if he gets his wrench back, he's got to act civil on this channel. This isn't like Archie Luxury's channel. This is a civil channel here. I still find it funny that Mr. James watches your channel. I still remember studying about him in business school. Triforce Rich. Carlos, thanks, Carlos. I'm surprised my comment saying hi, everyone went through earlier because someone had banned me and I have no idea why, but I think it was Megan Penn. Yeah, I unbanned you. So you sent an email and I unbanned you. Onlycoiners.com. There you go. That's a good idea. Okay. And then Trashy Larry says, evening, Lance. Carlos. Okay. Trashy Larry. I'm having trouble keeping up with the comments here, Brie. I'm trying to catch up here. Okay. Moment of truth.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so here's the thing, Brie. I listen to these podcasts and I listened to another one by, is it Robert Breedlove? Is that his name? Is it Robert, his first name? Anyway, Breedlove. Mm-hmm. And they, all these guys talk about how it's so hard to understand Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe some of the technical aspects of it are a little tricky, but the concept of Bitcoin, I don't think it's that hard to understand. It's personal property. It's what we go back to. If you go back thousands of years, people have always wanted to be able to have personal property that they control, that some thug or bad guy or government official can't come and take away from them, right? It's called personal property rights. And any free society, you can't thrive without personal property rights. If you have to worry about somebody coming and taking your property that you worked hard to produce, then you're not going to want to work hard and produce. You're not going to want to be productive because you're always scared that somebody's going to come and take it from you. Mm-hmm. So if you can have a form of property that you can possess and control, that you can have your own sovereignty over, that is amazing.
Of course. I agree.
I mean, isn't that a fairly basic thing? Now, we can get into the weeds and say, will it work? Will it get shut down? Will it get hacked? You know, we can ask all these kinds of questions, but the general concept of being able to have something of value that you control and you own, that you can give to somebody else if you want to, and no middleman can get in the middle of that transaction and say, no, you can't do this, or we want to take part of your money that you're sending to this other guy. We want to take a percentage of that
Yeah.
because we're here in the middle. We're the gatekeeper, right? I mean, there's just a concept of being able to have personal property rights and being able to have money that you control, that you can send to somebody else. Just that is huge. It is a very positive thing.
I agree.
So,
No banks involved.
So Triforce Rich says Megan should lose her wrench. She's a troll in disguise. I think Corey should take her wrench. I don't know if a moderator can take her wrench. I think only I could take her wrench. But I think hopefully she will not do that. Hopefully she will not do that.
Is it Megan just like she just like comes in at like the end of the live shows?
Usually.
Like,
Yeah.
why would she be taken out?
And Boozer says,
Dismissed.
I don't think Megan's a girl. That's what he says.
At least not at birth, she said.
I think for some reason, but I like her for some reason, Craig. She seems rugged and a fun girl like my daughter. Yeah, I think she seems kind of cool.
She's fine.
I think she seems kind of cool. But if she trolls other people, especially other wrench members, that can't be tolerated. Dur says, I have an idea, Craig. Onlycoiners.com can be a dating app set up for only people who own Bitcoin. Well, you know, I like the idea of that we have exclusive groups like the let's pull up the
Onlycoiners.com for people
stunning watches, the only stunning watches group. Yeah, the only stunning watches group that we have on Facebook. It's a very exclusive group, only 32 members.
Can we create one for Bitcoin, like for
and I think that we might have to make a rule that members of Only Stunning Watches have to be Bitcoin. Yeah, they have to be Bitcoin.
At least like some Satoshis.
Yeah, I think you know, if you have skin in the game, if you have even a small amount of Bitcoin, then you're more likely to learn about it and to put two and two together and realize how great this can be for humanity, what we're doing here.
Oh, today, I basically told my parents that you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. That like you can buy Satoshis.
What did they say?
They don't understand the fact that there's fractions of a Bitcoin.
And what did they say when you explained that?
I feel like they don't understand it still, but
they're still
I think they will.
Yeah, like explain it.
It's just a little tricky.
Explain it like this: a Bitcoin is like $100 bill, and pennies are like a fraction of a $100 bill, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a $100 bill could represent a Bitcoin. A penny could represent a Satoshi, right? But it's actually a smaller fraction than that. But it's just to illustrate a point that you can have a part of.
But there's 100 million sats in one Bitcoin, right?
That's right. 100 million of them. That's right. Million. There's a lot of them.
A lot.
Okay. Triforce Rich says, what's the process of voting off a wrench? I vote to remove Megan and vote in Corey. We have to get, I think we have to get three wrench members to agree on that. I think Megan is like
Peach Princess.
Peach Princess. She's a hostage of an evil creature. Okay. And somebody's laughing. I second the motion of transferring Megan's wrench to Corey. How many people really think that Corey should have a wrench? He has trolled in here, and he has trolled when I have had guests on. And that is close to unforgivable. Everything can be forgiven, I think, at some point. But when you troll one of my guests on my channel, that is like about as bad as it gets, right? We've lost people who wanted to do shows on this channel, regular shows. You know, the Cowgirls Live show. You know, I can mention a couple of examples where people have literally been driven off the channel because they've been trolled. You know, it's not good. It's not good. Megan has already been in trouble. She has been band members who have done nothing wrong. I don't know that she actually did that, but anyway,
She can't ban members, I don't
There's
think.
too much drama here. So all of a sudden, um, let's see.
What is it? What is it that you say? When I came, everything was fine, or something. When you came,
Before you came in, yeah,
everything was
everything was fine. Now all of a sudden, there's all this drama. Yeah. Okay, so Durr said I had skin in the game, but then I was circumcised. Okay. Carlos says, I think Craig should show his immense generosity and trust in the human beings and unblock everybody. Oh my gosh, that would be a nightmare. Carlos may be the only one remaining who hasn't been circumcised, but maybe he was also violated as a baby like us Americans. Okay.
What?
Craig, could you be angry at Bree if she cashes in her BTC for an 18 karat yellow gold Rolex 36 millimeter president?
First of all, I
No, I
wouldn't
mean,
trade my BTC for anything.
it's her Bitcoin. I mean, she can do whatever she
I
wants
would
with it.
trade anything for Bitcoin.
But I think she has a stronger hand than I do.
Yes.
And I've got a pretty strong hand. I mean, Bree is like, she doesn't, I mean, it's a one-way valve. Bitcoin goes in and it doesn't go out. And she's got altcoiners paying her Bitcoin, you know. I mean, she's got all these people paying her Bitcoin, and that's it. It's a one-way street. It just goes to Bree and piles up. So what is it called if you don't own a full coin? Well, if you own at least one Bitcoin, it's called a whole coiner. Anyone that owns at least one Bitcoin is called a whole coiner. And in the future,
somebody that doesn't have any Bitcoin.
In the future, and I think not too distant future, it will be very rare for somebody to own one whole Bitcoin. It will be almost impossible for an individual to own one whole Bitcoin. Because think about it, there's only 21 million, and there's going to be billions of people that have Bitcoin, right? Billions.
They're trying to fight over it.
It's going to be very rare for somebody to have one full Bitcoin, let's say 10 years, in 10 years from now. I'm predicting right now that will be a very rare thing for somebody to have one whole Bitcoin. Trashy Larry, I don't care what Megan was born as. I wouldn't throw her out of bed for eating crackers. I'll take anything at this point. Just Trashy Larry. Yeah.
So Trashy Larry's actually okay. I guess he is.
I guess. Okay. Do not remember me. Do not remember me those dark times. Okay. I wasn't here for the trolling. What did he say to the guest? I don't remember, but yeah, they were definitely trolling. They were just off-topic, ridiculous comments, and the guest was looking at the comment and like shaking their, what the hell is this? I mean, we don't need that kind of stuff when we have a guest. We really don't. I used to like it when Pedro was here and would troll, and then Craig would give him hell. That used to be fun. Okay. I think we give Corey a wrench. His son was trolling the doc, not him. But I don't vote to remove Megan. Megan is good in my view. Okay. So Corey should have a wrench, is what they're saying. Bree, don't say you trade anything for BTC. Some people might get the wrong idea. Well, depending on how much BTC
how much BTC I get.
Yeah, she might be willing to. Would you party with someone if they paid you enough BTC?
Party.
Yeah, if you know what we mean by party.
Oh, I mean, if it's like a lot of Bitcoin, then sure.
How much?
I don't know, like.
You know the joke at the bar.
BTC.
Hey, do you know? Bree, do you know? Is pretty good. 5? Okay. Do you know the the joke at the bar? The guy goes up to the stunning, beautiful woman, right? She's at the bar, and he says, "Listen," he says, "I'd really like to sleep with you. would you sleep with me for $100,000? And
Okay.
I'm a very rich man. I've got $100,000. Would you sleep with me for $100,000? And she looks at him. She says, no, I wouldn't do that. And he says, would you sleep with me for $200,000? And she says, well, maybe. And then he says, well, would you sleep with me for $120,000? And she says, well, what kind of girl do you think I am? And he says, well, we've already established that. We're just now negotiating the price.
Oh, because
And that's
she's still
the
there.
old joke. We got the amount she'll settle for, and now we're trying to negotiate. But anyway, 5 Bitcoin. You think 5 Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, first of all, it would tell you a couple of things about the guy. It would tell you that the guy is relatively intelligent because he bought Bitcoin, right? It would tell you that he's generous. He's willing to share some
he's
of it with
wealthy.
you. And he might be wealthy. It depends. I mean, I guess if he's giving you 5, you got to assume he owns significantly more than that,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, that's a pretty good litmus test. That's pretty good. I think that would be a good deal. Bruiser says, I mean, wouldn't that be more forgivable than using her BTC to buy a gold Tudor? Yeah, no, I don't think she's going to buy a Tudor. Does Tudor even make a solid gold watch, an 18-karat gold watch? Invest in Doge, then let the gains get you that Rolex. Not financial advice, said Daniel. Yeah, I hope not. Starting my afternoon hike. It's warm and wet. Sweat a bit for me. Okay, you're okay. Good.
It's good.
That's good. All right, I'm behind on the comments. I was inside engineer wannabe channel stream, and they don't understand Rolex. I told them over and over again to sell the Tudors, Craig. They don't get it. No, they don't get it.
There's one.
I'm okay. Where'd you get that picture?
On Google.
Okay.
Reeds,
I'm on the bike right now, sweating for Carlos. So Triforce Rich is on the bike, exercise bike, I guess. Craig, why do most BTC owners seem to be nerdy types? This crew seems to be the exception. Well, the early adopters, people early into any kind of new tech like that, or tend to be techie types, right? I mean, the normal people are busy working their job. They don't have time to look into all this new stuff.
That's true.
So the early adopters tend to be techie types. I've just always been fascinated with where I think things are headed. Like when I saw the internet, when I first played with the internet, I said, wow. I said, it's kind of slow. It doesn't work real well, but I kind of saw where the potential was, where it might head. And that's when I started buying domain names and started saying, I want to be kind of in this space, right? So I kind of like to pick off things that I think are kind of the next big thing. Like I was early into cell phones.
You saw the potential to the
I had one of the first cell phones, and I said, hey, this is going to be amazing when everybody has these freaking phones, right? And so,
yeah,
I like to get into things that I think are going to change the world. Derek says, the day I sold my Belagos was the 3rd best day of my life after my divorce and the day my daughter was born. Okay. The only rule on the channel is not to troll on regular guests. Well, that's the biggest rule. Yeah. Everyone has a price, Bree. Don't worry about it. There you go. And
all right, good to know.
Partied, said Colin. And Bree has repeatedly said she would marry an old, morbidly obese crypto billionaire. If she actually did that, she would have affairs with. If she actually did that, would she have affairs with young, handsome men? Okay, so would you cheat on the rich guy, Bree?
No.
If you married a rich guy and got a bunch of Bitcoin, would you then cheat on him?
I mean, if he treats me decently, and he's wealthy, then there's no reason for me to go after another guy.
So you're very loyal. You're very loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Bree is like the perfect girl, guys. So if you don't put a ring on her finger, you are missing out. I'm telling you, you're missing out on basically the perfect girl. Kyle would do much dirtier things for
Dirty
much less
things.
than 5 BTC. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Well, he's a business guy.
yeah, it wouldn't take.
So
Yeah, I mean, I would do quite a bit for 5 BTC myself. I mean, 5 BTC is no freaking joke.
if you add it
um,
up,
so I've been known to stoop down to trashy Larry levels. Yeah. How about 5 Dogecoins? No, yeah, I think we'll pass on that.
no, definitely
Tudor
not.
has a gold Black Bay now. Is it 18 karat gold? Solid 18 karat gold? That's
Um,
that's weird. Do you mean ID guy? Okay.
two
Craig, do
tone.
you think prostitution should be legalized and taxed? Would you consider opening a brothel in Frederick? I think that prostitution should be legal, but I don't know that they should tax it. I'm not a big fan of taxation. Taxation is theft. Taxation is taking away,
With Bitcoin, there's no
wealth.
taxes.
If somebody works hard for something, why should some random person be able to come along and just say, I'm going to take a part of that?
Yeah,
I mean, that's not right. Let them get their own freaking job. Let them earn their own
yeah.
money. Not ID guy. His name is Engineer Wannabe. He does videos on Tudor and Grand Seikos. Okay. Professor Craig already owns enough domain names to start a brothel such as usacute.com. I think it's uscute.com. I don't think it's they're on the list. I showed you this list earlier on my webpage. Let me see if I can share this again. Can I share it?
Oh, the domains.
There it is. And so that's the list of domain names. It's CraigShipp.com/domains. CraigShipp.com/domains, and you can see the list of the names. Okay, and there's a couple of good ones on there. There's AmericanCute.com. They could use that one also. I got some good names on there, guys. Get to work selling them. Get to work selling them. Bree's going to try to sell some and get some money. She's hustling.
I'm trying.
So let's see. Here's the next one. Craig, do you have any recommendations for the TPG crew to replace their tiny Louis Vuitton backpacks? Do they have Louis Vuitton backpacks? Really? I didn't notice that.
They might.
Louis Vuitton used to make some really cool stuff. Remember that movie that you watched the other day, Bree? What was the one that had the really cool Louis Vuitton steamer
Oh,
trunks?
the other one. Love in the Afternoon.
Love in the Afternoon. Yeah, they had some amazing steamer trunks in that movie. That's a movie with Audrey Hepburn. Love in the Afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
And that was back when Louis Vuitton really made some good stuff. Now I'm not so sure about their stuff. How great
They're
it
pretty
is.
good.
They look pretty good. So if anybody wants to send Bree a Louis Vuitton backpack, there you go.
What do I have to do then?
No, that would just be a gift. That would just be a gift. That would just to get things started, get conversation started. Right? That'd just be a conversation starter. Just like this Bitcoin ring here. This is a conversation. Yeah. This is called a conversation starter, right? That's just what that is. And by the way,
what's that there?
What, the Bitcoin ring? You've seen it.
Yeah, like if people. No. I'm saying like if people see it and ask you like, oh, what's that?
Yeah. Hey, that's a cool ring. What does the B stand for, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you've got an opportunity. Now you've got an opportunity to tell them about Bitcoin, right? That's why we all need to have these rings, right? It's not just because it's kind of cool looking and all that. We need to have these rings to use as conversation starters with people. It's as early adopters of Bitcoin, part of what we need to do is we need to educate other people. And it's not because it's a Ponzi scheme or anything like that. It's just because this is the good thing for humanity. This is a good thing. It really is.
Of course.
And so, Craig, I'll trade you 2 Ethereum for a Hoffman sub and a Bitcoin. Come on, stop being greedy. You want 1 whole Bitcoin for 2 Ethereum? No. Sorry about that. Jen Lim, you collect something other than watches like sports cars or comics books? No, I don't. I don't really collect watches either. I've only got 2 right now. There's the gold stunner on the bench. The gold stunner on the bench. That's the 002. Look at Bree reacting to that gold stunner.
What? It's so beautiful.
And so I've got that, and then I've got the 231, the 231 stunner. So that's my rotation right now of watches. The best sport watch ever made, ever conceived by man, by far, not even a close call. And then, of course, the finest dress watch ever conceived by man. I only buy the best on this channel. We step up.
The best.
And Bree has the best 9F watch with the 9F movement.
Yes.
And Dur says, I hate taxes. And billions of our tax dollars went into funding Taliban. I think it was probably trillions at this point. Should I buy the Pepsi or Coke GMT Steinhardt? I would get Coke. If you want to get a Steinhardt, I would get the Coke. Derek says, and Israel, they don't have enough money already. I think I've never met one. Yeah, we throw away a lot of money. And see, Bitcoin's going to solve this problem. Government won't have unlimited amounts of money to throw around the world if we're on a Bitcoin standard, because they can't print Bitcoin like they can US dollars. They can print as many US dollars as they want. They can devalue the currency whenever they want to. Can't do that with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, they have to buy it with real money. And it's going to get to the point where nobody will sell it for fiat. There'll be a point when if you go to a Bitcoiner and say, I want to give you fiat currency, USD, for your Bitcoin, they'll just laugh. They'll say, no.
Yeah.
It'll be like in Venezuela where they had like a wheelbarrow full of $100 bills or whatever in their currency, and nobody wanted it, right? You couldn't hardly buy a loaf of bread with it. That's what it's going to be. Nobody's going to want your freaking fiat currency, okay? That's how this whole thing's going to work. All right, Bree, I'm falling way behind on comments here. Bree, do you dream in English or Spanish?
Both.
Both? Okay. LV is similar to Rolex. Okay. I will arrive at Little Treasure event with 3 LV trunks as luggage. Yeah, there you go. He's going to have his Louis Vuitton. And David's in the house. David, are you coming? We're trying to get. He says I look forward to LTJ event in October. Have you confirmed?
LTJ.
Have you confirmed with Steve? And are you staying at the same hotel as everybody else? We're trying to get everybody at the same hotel. The one that's recommended by the Stevester. Bree, would you feel safe traveling to Spain, or are you afraid that they would try to conquer you again? I think Bree was.
They wouldn't know.
I think Bree's ancestors are from Spain. I think she was part of the conquerors.
I think so.
Her ancestors come from Spain, so she was.
Because I'm not. I'm white. I'm not like dark.
She's a descendant of the conquistadors. Absolutely, she's a princess.
Yeah, I think so.
Bree's a princess.
Maybe.
Right? Are you wearing a faux pas?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then she absolutely has to be a princess. She's got a faux pas on her wrist, for God's sakes. Okay, David, are you coming? We hope to make it. Yeah, I think he just said he's coming. If so, had a Bitcoin ring and someone asked me what it was, I would say the B is for Bob. And then if they asked me my name was Bob, I'd say no. Got to keep people confused. That's a good move. You got to keep people a little bit off balance. Carlos and I saw his favorite LV products in Beverly Hills, Chinese models We're sporting the holographic, multicolored bags. Nothing says new money. Yeah. Yeah. Some of this stuff is definitely new money, a little bit nouveau riche, a little bit tacky, if you ask me. Bree, what gifts have you gotten from Craig's viewers that you can show? Any Louis Vuitton purses?
Nothing.
Most
Sorry.
of the gifts that you've gotten have come from your own followers on Twitter, right? They
Twitter.
haven't come from this channel. Have you gotten any gifts at all from this channel?
No. I mean, the Grand Seiko from Blue, but that was like not
Well,
direct.
but you didn't.
It was
That wasn't a
indirect.
gift. That wasn't a gift. You had to buy it from Little Treasury.
Right. That was like indirect, but
Yeah.
but nothing. But nothing.
I think that the viewers on this channel are a little bit thrifty. That's a nice way. That's a politically correct way of saying cheap.
Yeah.
No. Carlos donated Bitcoin to you. I remember live on the show he did it.
Bitcoin. Oh,
I
he
think
did donate something for my 5K run.
I think he donated Bitcoin to you also on the show live. You don't remember that? I remember it.
I think so, actually.
So if I buy a Louis Vuitton Never Fill, you'll go on dates with me.
So
John says.
I buy you a
Louis Vuitton Never Full. I guess that's is
what
that
is
a backpack?
A Never Full?
You have to Google it. I guess that's a backpack. Good question, Colin. I'm curious, what is the most generous donation Bree has gotten aside from Craig's many gifts?
Generous donation.
You've had several people give you 0.01 Bitcoin.
That's a lot.
Several.
I mean, I got to do a video for it, but
yeah,
not like a gift.
Yeah. Has anybody given you more than 0.01 Bitcoin? The rumor going around on the watch channels is that Craig owes Steve a lot of money and is forcing him to promote his product. Craig has dismissed these. The rumor going around on the watch channel is that Craig owes Steve a lot of money and is forcing him to promote his product. No, I don't owe Steve any money. And
yeah, Craig's not in debt.
I really wish that Steve would take more interest in what we're doing. I mean, and come on the channel more as a guest and do more live streams himself. And, it's, and I get it that he's really busy and all that, but I mean, I think it's kind of a shame. And I have to say, I'm super disappointed in Grand Seiko because I thought for sure they would have taken an interest in what we're doing. And some of them would want to join the show from time to time and show off some watches and stuff like that. But crickets. I haven't heard anything from them. And I met some of them up at the Grand Seiko event up in New York. And just crickets. I've heard nothing from any of them. So I still hold out hope. Still hold out hope. At David, I have a reservation for the Little Treasury event at the same place as you. Okay. I wish they would just go back to the gold standard instead of this fiat nonsense. I think Bitcoin is better in a lot of ways than the gold standard. Yeah, I think because Bitcoin is a base layer currency that is absolutely scarce. It has absolute scarcity, whereas gold does not. We do not know how much gold is going to be discovered in the future and what the supply of gold is going to be. We know what the supply of Bitcoin is, and we know what the total number that will ever be mined is. So that is what makes a few of the things that make gold superior. I mean, Bitcoin superior to gold. It's a good time to buy Bitcoin, or is it a good time to buy Bitcoin or gold now? Bitcoin is at 48K and gold is at 1780. I only own a relatively small amount of gold. I am bullish on Bitcoin. That's what I'm doing. I can't tell you what you should do, but that's what I'm doing. They say Jeffrey Epstein kept diamonds in a safe in case he needed to flee the country. Well, it sounds like he should have taken them and fled the country. Yeah, he should have made his move. He kind of blew that whole situation. His ancestors did partly come from Spain. Someone had to force themselves on the locals to create her. Her ancestors did partly come from Spain. Yeah. Okay. There you go. But I don't think. I don't think Bree is. I don't think either side of her family tree are quote locals. I think her whole family tree comes down from Spain.
Yeah,
that's my strong impression, because I've seen her pictures of her dad. I haven't actually met him, but I've met her mom, and I think they're both definitely Spanish. Okay, the event will be great if most of us are there. Okay, so who's not going to be here? Who is not coming? Okay, is Michael Saylor married? If not, Bree should make a move on. She's trying. She's trying her best.
Yeah. I mean, I've messaged him multiple times.
Yeah, and she has made a video
I've
about
actually
him.
called his secretary.
Yeah, and she's made a video about him that got 600,000 views. So yeah,
Right.
she's not.
People think that he actually paid me to do that video. I'm like, no, he hasn't even like talked to me.
Yeah.
So
yes, and so, but she's waiting by the phone. She's ready. Are you ready for his call?
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle says Leslie got me a Martin Digman backpack, and it's amazing. Can definitely recommend. Yes, I agree. Yes, those are some. Yeah, I want to see it too. Bree, what was your time for the 5-kilometer run, and how did you feel afterwards?
It wasn't really that fast. It was like 1 hour, but I felt good. It's good to burn a sweat every now and then.
Okay, and Lance sent a couple of watches, so we're going to take a look. This one loaded in. Oh, that's a pretty good looking Omega. 1950s Omega, 18 karat gold, $1,883, 30% off. Wow, I'm going to add that to. The only thing I don't like about this watch is I'm not impressed with the crown. Oh, come on. Let me get this. I see the crown looks kind of wimpy on it. I like the lugs. I like the shape of the lugs. I like, everything else is nice and clean looking. But that crown, I think that we could have done a better job on that. I can't get this thing to switch. Oh, here we go. That looks pretty good.
I like the strap.
Wonder what size it is. I like the signed crown, but I don't like it's kind of wimpy looking from the top. See how it looks kind of small, the crown? But no, my gosh, for the money? Are you kidding me? It looks good. What size is it? Let me see what size it is. Wait, I'm going to have to hook up the other mouse to this computer. The mouse is not, the scratch pad is not working well. Let me see what size
I don't like that one.
Okay, this thing is 18 millimeter strap. It's a 34 millimeter case size, so that's why it's so cheap. It's a 34 mil. But this would be great for a lady. This would be great for a lady. All right, let's look at the next one. Give me a second here. I'm trying to load this in. And this next one's a Rolex. Okay, and here is the Rolex. And let's look at this. I like it. I think it's good looking. I like it. Lance has found a couple of good ones lately. Now, Lance, wouldn't you rather have that than some steel Rolex? Come on, tell the truth. That is stunning. It's even got a Rolex clasp, which I'm assuming is 18 karat. It looks a little bit grungy inside, but you could have it serviced. I kind of like it. Okay. All right. And so that one, oh, for crying out loud, that one is $69.50. $69.50. And I'm guessing it is a, oh, it says it's 36 mil. Interesting. So that's a decent size. I like it. 2 thumbs up for that one. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon, Bree. I got to think I'm behind on the comments. Okay, Bree, do you consider yourself Caucasian or Latina?
Latina.
Yeah, but she's a light-skinned Latina, right?
Yes.
Bree, do you think your dad and Craig would get along?
No. I don't think there's a chance.
No.
Nope.
He's not really a fan of you being an entrepreneur, right? He just wants you to get some job.
Yeah, and to cover myself in like long skirts and
Yeah, be very modest. Yes, with your yes.
yeah, be
He
Mary.
He wants you to wear a
Holy
burqa.
Mary.
He wants you to wear a burqa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a burqa. Yeah. Well, all dads want that, I think, for their little girl. Okay. Colin says, Bree, do you live with your parents? I've seen your mom on the live chat before. What does your dad do?
Do you live? Yeah, I do live with them. What does my dad do? He's like a salesman for insurance.
Okay. And Carlos says we can't end now. And Derek says we can't end. Okay. And so John says, so Bree, what do you think of the Never Full? Date worthy or no?
I like it.
You like the Never Full? Is it a purse? It's a purse,
Yeah, it's a
not
purse.
a backpack. Okay, so he should just go ahead and send it, right?
I like purses. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Contact Bree. What's your email for business purposes?
Business purposes, it's business@briefitdance.com.
Okay. And what about for purse donations?
Purse donations?
For donations of purses.
Brianna@briefitdance.com.
Okay, Brianna@briefitdance.com for purses. There you go. Has Lance scheduled a date with Bree yet? He said he has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
He broke the news.
So no to Lance.
Yeah, he broke the news
I can't
last
cheat.
time.
Or he can't cheat.
Yeah, and
No
so now do you know how people react when they see the 002 for the first time?
No.
Huh?
I don't.
Okay. All right. So let's play the clip of how they react when they first let me show the 002. There's the 002. And this is how they react when they see the 002 for the first time.
What? I mean, this is amazing. Yeah, it's beautiful. Wow, this is really pretty.
So that's what they should say. And when they see a Tudor for the first time, this is how they react.
It looks like somebody's nightmare.
Man.
And when we talk about a Tudor, right? We often say that the people just can't handle it, right? They can't handle.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And you know, and the guy was working really hard, right? Working really hard, and his girlfriend doesn't understand. He says he doesn't really need the money.
Why? What would it prove, Tommy? You don't need the money.
Right? Right? So what's this one? I don't know what this one is here.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
So that's when Kyle tries to buy his domain name. He says, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Oof.
Right? And so when it comes to getting Bitcoin,
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
So he's saying greed is good. Get as much as you can get. Get as much Bitcoin as you can get. All right, let's go back to the comments. And we're going to wrap this puppy up.
Wrap it up.
Let's see. I just hit her up on Twitter DMs. Okay, he DM'd you.
Oh.
And Lance
The Florida guy?
down. Lance has doubled down saying that he has a girlfriend. Okay. And then let's see here. Craig, why are people wasting their time making these Steve rumors about you? Fool. I don't know why people waste their times. I mean, they've got a lot of time on their hands. I think that's the explanation for that. Craig, is it wrong to have two girlfriends at the same time? Have you done it? I think that's a recipe for disaster. And I just think that I think a girl is high maintenance. And so, my God, why would you want two? That's double the maintenance.
That's a lot.
To take proper care of a girl, it's a high maintenance situation. And so
I don't see any Twitter DM.
You didn't see the DM? Uh-oh. Craig, where did Olga go? Olga is traveling the world. Olga is a friend of mine who visited from Moscow, and she is traveling the world. She is having a good time. That's what she's doing.
Good time.
And she knows a lot of rich people, a lot of super uber rich Russians. Okay. When ladies see me for the first time, this is how they look. Okay. And they react like, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is for what you like, Bree. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Oh, first I got to get rid of the comment. Hold on a second. I got to get the comment off the screen so you can see the whole thing. So this is what you like.
But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewels.
Yeah.
So you prefer one that gives expensive jewels. Now this is actual footage. You mentioned Steve and Little Treasury Jewelry. This is actual footage from Little Treasury Jewelers. You ready for this one?
Didn't I tell you this was a lovely place?
See, that's what she said. It's a lovely place, right? She said it's a lovely place. And I'm going to wrap up with what this gentleman says about Congress and how the government operates in this country. This is Congress.
For whatever reason, the Senate doesn't seem to want to behave reasonably or rationally. And I think the consequences are going to be long-standing of this foolish legislation.
Foolish.
Oh boy.
He's a Bitcoiner for sure.
And then when somebody tries to step to Durr, this is how Durr reacts.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Go ahead. Make my day.
And do you sometimes just get really worked up about something?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Do you ever get that mad, Bree? And again, we like to hang around with these kind of people.
Oh, dear, I like rich people. I like the way they live. I like the way I live when I'm with them. I wonder where the children are.
All right, we're going to have to let this go, okay? We're going to have to wrap this up.
Charming, quite charming.
Let's do a little, man.
There you go. All right, charming.
All right.
All right, let's wrap up with the last comments and get out of here. Let's see. Owned. Okay. Let's see. I assume Bree will be going to the Little Treasure event. Are you going to the Little Treasure event?
Am I invited?
I think so. I think I can make sure you're invited.
Because I can go.
I'll tell Steve that if you're not
I'll
invited,
clear
I'm
out
gonna
my schedule and pin it. Schedule it.
There you go. It's on Friday and Saturday.
It's October 1,
No, I think it's October 8 and 9.
7, 7 and 8. Or
7
8
and
and
8?
9. Something
It's a
like
Friday and a Saturday.
Something
Okay,
like that.
so that's true. Expect I will double fisting. Okay. Remember,
9
folks,
and
Larry
10.
Elder for governor of California. Okay. Dual 44 Magnums. Wow, that'd be heavy duty. Amazing show as always, says Kyle. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been a fun one. It's been a fun show. And we're going to have to wrap this puppy up. I think Steve is intimidated by Bree. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he didn't hire me. I actually basically wanted a job there, but
He didn't hire you. That was a big mistake. He made a big mistake there.
he said I was too shy, but I think I got over it.
Yeah, you're getting there. Absolutely. Carlos says, thank you, Craig. All right, we got to get out of here. Watching, everybody. I put the 002 on. Whoops, where's the 002? There it is. And we are done. We're done. We've been live for an hour and 26 minutes, Bree. An hour and 26 minutes. Thanks for popping in.
Yep.
All right. And maybe the end of this week, maybe Friday or Saturday, you can do a live show here.
Sure. Stay tuned.
We'll do that. All right. Carry on, everybody.